The losing streak is over, but more importantly, trade winds are blowing when it comes to the Raptors. How you feeling, fellas?
Time to get AD.
I'm not feeling lethargic.
This is Basketball Island, Hein, Hambone, West Fab, and there was no lethargy from the Raps in that win over the Heat. We'll get to that a little later because we got to start with trade talk. Like our guy Josh Lewinberg yesterday on the broadcast talking about. Let's start by pouring cold water on the big names. None of us think Giannis makes any sense. Obviously, we would love that, but it's not going to happen. And even AD, none of us really think none of us think AD will happen either. Any quick Giannis AD chatter you guys want to chime in on before we get to the real targets?
I mean, it's not going to happen. It's nice to feel like the headlines. I know Shams had the Raptors in as a potential suitor for AD. Yeah. It's not going to happen. And I think it would be malpractice if the Raptors did chase that. You don't even want to play center. I just don't. You're not at the point where I think a trade can make you a contender. I think you want to see what this core does, and you want to nip around the edges.
Is Joe Dumars the GM of either of those teams?
He knows something we don't.
Otherwise, how are you gonna make that happen? That's just how it goes.
Seems far-fetched.
Yeah, AD, I'm calling cap on that. That's not something the Raptors should be looking at. For the amount they'd have to give up to get him, aging center, or aging power forward, not something they should explore. Giannis, that's a pipe dream.
Hey, look, if you can make Giannis happen, sure, but I just don't think you're going to make it happen.
The Raps could get outbid by multiple teams for Giannis, but the way it looks, the Bucks are probably just going to hold on to him at this point.
Put it this way.
Let's put that to bed.
If the Raptors get Giannis, there'd be a league review. They're guaranteed there'd be a league review.
The group chat got on me a few times because I think the Raptors had put themselves into position to get Giannis multiple times, and then they didn't. I think there was the Masai connection with that, but now that dream is over.
Okay, now, when it comes to the Raptors, we all kind of had some fun with the trade machine. I'm going to go last because I went straight up scrap heap. This was basically the dudes that I rotate on the wire on my bad fantasy teams because it's really hard to make a move. Now, the main name that was mentioned in the Lewinberg report was Gafford. And I think Gafford kind of makes sense, but Wes, you have 5 trades. Where do you want to start with
No. I'm going to go last like you. I think one thing that's good to stipulate on this is that the Raptors kind of have a weird salary situation. A lot of guys who are like 18 mil and above, really tough to match those salaries. And then you got a bunch of guys $6 million or lower. So there's a little bit of a gap. This is a position that everybody's talking about. You want to fill back up center.
Yeah, that's it. It's all just get a big.
Yak is being paid 18 mil. So you're trying to find something less than that. The pickings are kind of slim, right? In terms of what you can fill there. I think the big differentiation you have to ask, if you're a Raptors fan looking at this, are you looking for just a patchwork fill-in backup center who you're not looking for any growth? You just want a guy that can be there, function, or are you trying to trade for somebody who can grow with the young core? So I think that's a distinction that you make when you're looking at evaluating this spot.
So for me, real quick, I don't think that they have the appropriate pieces to get that growth center. I think you need to just kind of pull a guy in that's like, hey, be a big and play 18 minutes for us.
I think the key for a trade for this season is to find someone that doesn't kill you. You want to evaluate this core and you want to do it honestly. If you're just getting destroyed every night because Yak's kind of hurt or not playing a back-to-back and you don't have a big that can set a screen or grab a defensive rebound, that's unfair to the guys on the roster because it's you can't really judge them honestly if that's the case. So I would not try and reach for a young stud center in the future. I would wait to draft that player for next year, the year after that. That's how I would look at it. This for me is very much a nipping around the edges type trade. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, for me, they need to just address size, backup big, rebounding, just someone you can plug and play. I'm not looking for a growth asset here. Someone who's serviceable, who can give you 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe plug in as a starter when Yak sits.
I got a list for you, buddy.
What? There's a number of guys who fit that mold. It's just, what can you offer to get that player?
So another note too, the Raptors are above the tax. So at some point they're going to have to trim some of that salary before the end of the season because I don't think they want to get into that repeater next year. So that's another thing to factor in here. I think the obvious candidate to be traded is Ochai Agbaji.
So wait, hold on, real quick, just to add on to that point, they have that glut, and Kia talked about it last night on the broadcast. You basically have 3 or 4 guys that you're kind of rotating in that backup wing spot. And it's like you have too many guys there. So you need to move 1 to 2 of those
I
guys.
am unwilling to give up on Jacoby Walter or Grady Dick for a move like this. So for me, that's a non-starter. Unless you're trying to acquire someone who has more long-term, like, ability on the Raptors. You could see this guy being on your team for 3 years, something like that. I would not give up on Grady Dick. I would not give up on Jacoby Walter. I think you're selling low in that case. I think to me, the obvious candidate is Ochai Agbaji, plus a second, plus cash. You know, that's how I would look at this, a way to get under the tax, but not give up one of your young stalwarts.
Yeah, so this is the problem with all trade machine discussions. Okay, you're not willing to give those guys up, but you're asking for something back. You want something back of value. You have to give. You have to give in order to get. So then you stand down. Then you just don't do anything.
No, but you can give up seconds.
You can give up a second
You can
round.
say, here's salary and here's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something, right?
Yeah, so my point being here is like, I think the reminder here in any of these discussions is like, we always talk about like, oh, we want this and piece and that piece, but nothing has to go the other way. The other team has to accept it, unless it's Joe Dumars. So like, someone else has to pick something up on the other team for it to be a value.
I feel
to
like
them,
Wes is
right?
calling you a casual here.
No.
Hambone's gonna come in.
Well, I'm coming in on this because, like, listen, I'm not giving up on a first-round pick last season, 2 seasons ago, for a tertiary player that would be your 11th guy. That doesn't make sense to me. I think in this case, you wait to draft a center the next draft, the year after that. If you want to go for a big that you think you can build with, then you get serious.
Yeah,
But like
I'm
that's
not throwing away a guy.
But that guy doesn't really, as we'll see through this exercise, I'm not sure that guy exists to the point of giving up that type of person, right?
I would agree. Now, I have a couple funky trades that were like, you know, because everyone's talking about Gafford, Goga Batadze, Josh brought him up as well. Like, I understand that there are popular guys in that way. I want to have a little fun with this. Like, so I'm going to go first.
Self-value?
Self-value.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm thinking the Hein model.
Toss him up.
So this, you know, Raptors been struggling without him, but this is a fun trade for me. This is RJ Barrett out the door.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
If you
wow.
want to get
Hold
On
on.
brand.
Yeah, like
if you want to like tackle both things, I think to me this is interesting. I'd want some draft capital back here. Something around RJ Barrett for Zach Collins and Ayo Dosunmu from Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Zach Collins had an expensive contract, 17?
He's
18?
expiring contract, so he's a holdover. He can hold you over for this season. Raptors, I think, were also
I
linked
can just
to Ayo.
hear the keyboards clicking in the comments.
Click
just
away,
ready
man.
to like
We're just shooting this shit. I don't know
ship
what
this guy out.
No, I'm not
Like,
doing that. Not-
So I'm
No
a
chance.
big Ayo guy. I'm a huge Ayo guy. I think he's tenacious defender. I think the Bulls have a lot of guards. So that's one
Do you
I threw
remember
out
what
there.
the offense
Didn't
looked
you-
like during this 11-game stretch or whatever stretch without RJ?
And then you just say you're not willing to sell low on guys. Is that not a sell low on RJ?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm a big Ayo guy. I don't think it's a sell low.
Hold on, I just want to say, for the commenters who are going
Bulls
to rip
offer-
the 4 of us as a podcast, just direct it to one man.
Yeah.
The guy with the Luigi hat. The 3 of us do not
Yeah, I'm
co-sign
not
this.
signing that up.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
let's
sign off
scale
then.
down. Let's scale
Okay,
down. What else you got?
Hold on, let's see what else he's got. I want to
Yeah,
know
what else?
what else.
Scale down,
what else
scale
you got.
down.
Well, I don't want to do the
back
obvious
up.
ones. I don't want to do the obvious ones.
Okay, so
No, dude, give us one more. Let's just get crazy.
So another one is a guy that's intriguing. I don't think they're going to give him up. Is Jay Huff on Indiana? Like, what does he lead the league in blocks? Is that a thing?
Well,
He
'cause
did at
what-
one point. Just I'm not sure. I think he's close to the top.
He does.
But
the
it's what
things-
you need. It's what
he
you
does
need.
the things I like. He
Yeah.
can shoot a 3 and he can defend the rim. I think those guys are unicorns. I would be intrigued in a deal with that. I don't think Indiana's going to do this.
No, the
'cause
Pacers
only
like
way
him a
to
lot.
They like him a lot. The only
yeah.
way to
Would you
make
give it up
work-
for him?
In this case, I would give up someone like Grady for a J Huff, but I also want like some like Jarris Walker back. But you know, he's kind of.
I don't think they're doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think so
it gets
either.
a little tough, man. It gets a little tough, but then you'd have to attach draft capital. You have to really like those guys. I don't know, but that's kind of the 2 I had.
Yo,
there.
Fab, how low you going here? How deep into the trenches?
Quite frankly, I'm not paid like an executive, so I didn't come up with any trades.
Fair
so
enough,
you guys
fair
didn't
enough,
come
fair
up.
enough, fair enough. Okay, so I think one of the
Should we talk Gafford before we
No,
go
you
to
guys are coming
scratch?
at me. But
No,
look at
no,
this
no,
guy.
no,
You
okay,
come
okay.
up with a trade.
I have a couple if you need, but you guys seem to have a ton, so I'm gonna just react
Wes,
to
give your
yours.
stipulation.
So no, the stipulation is that you got guys like Grady, you got guys like Jacoby, those are the players that you see potential in. Ochai, to be crystal clear, if we're being objective about this, you have to present him as a salary dump. He's on the final year of his contract. So it has to go to a team that is ready to just let him walk, right? So you have to find that match. And not every team necessarily is going to be in that position. Indiana's one of those teams that's probably looking to make space. But
I think they like him. I think they like him too.
My point I'm just trying to say is like, you present Grady, you present Jacoby in a trade as somebody who can potentially grow for that for that trade partner, Ochai is a salary dump. That's how it's presented.
You attach a second to
yeah.
Ochai
Okay,
to
that's
get
what it
someone
is.
you want.
Let me-
I would not give up Jacoby or Grady for a tertiary piece. I think that's insane.
Unless it's somebody that's growing back the other way. Yeah, it's
I think it's
one for
insane.
one.
Okay, let's take a detour back to reality. Thank you for that, though.
No, Bulls would have to add for them. I like Io,
Okay,
man.
so-
I like Io.
And I'm not sure I don't know if it was Josh or if it was Grange who mentioned this, but Time Lord. I think Time Lord is an intriguing piece. I know the injuries. So
Give me a trade, dude.
Agbaji, Temple, Grady Dick. Now, you guys might think Grady is a non-starter,
Awful.
but here's all I'm saying.
Awful.
I am fine. I want to give up one of Grady or Walter in order to free up the other.
That's
That's
dumb.
all. And I
Not
think,
for him.
That's
but I
dumb.
think
Not
for
for
a
him.
fit, I think that would fit.
So like you're just you're just tossing in first round picks.
No, I didn't
right?
throw a
Like,
first round pick.
Those guys were first round picks.
Okay, yeah, but
it
yes,
doesn't make sense.
but-
Time Lord plays like 45 games a year. Like, what are we doing here, man? You're
Hold
just
on,
throwing
tossing
away
in first round
assets.
picks though. But how is Grady an asset? What kind of asset
You're
is Grady? Based off of what we've seen, it's year 3 now.
You're
Like,
selling low. Like,
I know.
Why?
So you were just selling low on RJ.
Am I? I mean,
Grady's,
Raptors are
Grady's had
taxing-
an up and down year, but
Yeah,
he
he looked good yesterday.
He's had moments. He's been in a bit of a slump up until last night. But,
Question.
but once again, okay, if you want to trade Grady, fine, but not for a center who can barely play
Barely
20 games
plays.
a year.
What if you're getting 60 games of Time Lord? If you knew that, would
You're
you do
not
that?
though.
But if you,
You're not.
I mean, I like to live in that hypothetical world too. Okay, so
I was gonna say something. I was like, I'm not gonna.
all right, you mentioned Grady, and obviously there's a lot of apprehension about it. So I want to set the line here. So what type of asset or player are you willing to have come back the other way? Probably want a young center, right?
If you're giving up
Grady.
a young player
Yeah,
like
so I'm
that,
saying a Grady or a
yes.
Jacoby. If that's going one way, you probably want a young center who can grow back, right?
someone of value.
So how about a center that everybody thought the Raptors were gonna take
I see your. I see
and
your
didn't
stream.
do it? They took another guy in that spot instead. Would you say Grady is the same potential value as Common Malawach?
No.
I don't.
No chance.
No,
So you
less.
say Grady's worth more?
he's worth.
Yeah. No.
less.
Malawach is
Less.
worth.
Well,
Malawach is
Malawach
worth-
is an unknown, but they just
Yes.
use a 10th overall
Yeah.
pick on him. So
And if you listen to Ishbia with Rosillo, it's like we thought he was going to go potentially. I know the owners will say that.
Yeah.
But we thought he could go as high as 4, which is possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
In that framework, yes, but Phoenix would not do that.
Okay, so here's what is crazy about that. It's like, why is Oso playing ahead of him? Why is Nick Richards still on that roster? Why do they have 4 centers on this
But
team?
we knew it was
Right.
going to take time for him to develop.
Fair, right? So I think if you look at the current makeup of this roster right now for Phoenix, a guy like Grady is probably not a bad fit for them. They lack a lot of scoring punch off the bench. Okay, they got Jordan Goodwin, they got all these other Ryan Dunn, like good defensive guys, not bad. Grady Dick, not necessarily a defense first guy, but Phoenix could fit in well, give them something off the bench. All I'm saying here is like, it is the distinction. Do you want a high upside center? Because Malawach can't even play anytime for
Dude,
Phoenix.
I
I
know,
worry
but
that he might not for
we
Toronto.
can't give
I
up
know,
on
I know,
guys.
but that was going to be and this was my whole thing when they passed on Malawach. People were like, "Well, we need a center." I'm like, "This guy's not going to be able to play year 1 in the NBA." Like people thought they were going to plug him in and he's going to play 25 minutes and be good. Like, no, you know how raw Malawach
Yeah.
is. You need to see what he's going to look like in like 2 years from now.
feel like
2
I wanna
years
make-
away from being 2 years
I feel
away.
like I want to make a statement about society. Like we are very impatient nowadays. Like Phoenix, there's no way. Like, why would you give up on someone who's like, to Fab's point, it's just not good. Like he's not going to realize his potential year 1. Like that was never going to happen.
And also, they knew it was going
Yeah,
to
it's
be a
long-term
process. So
play.
why would you take
especially
it?
with bigs? Bigs, I think you got to cultivate slowly. You know, you water
Yeah,
the
they take a
plants,
while.
you
So
Can I
fertilize
throw?
it.
Can I throw a realistic big out here? And
Well, your last one was.
hold on, no. But this okay. So this is a realistic. This is well, what would it take to get Time Lord? I'm just saying the insiders mentioned
Less
Time
than
Lord.
that.
You
Less
think-
than that.
No, but he's salary. You
Hold
can't make it
on.
work without that.
Exactly. But
That's the
thing
problem.
for me is like Jakob's dealing with back issues, and
Hold
you're
on.
bringing another center. Who
My only
barely
point
sees-
was Time Lord was mentioned by one of those insiders, and in order to make the salary work, that is all you could really do. So there's no way to get Time Lord without those pieces.
Okay, then
that's
it's
all.
not a trade.
So here's a realistic one.
give it to me.
Okay.
And now you're saying you don't want to give up on a first round pick who you took, whatever pick.
You want to sell low.
So, but what if you're getting a first round pick back who's young?
Okay.
And I'm talking about Wes's boy. Yves Missi.
Zeke Naji?
No, yes, Zeke Naji. Yves Missi. Yves Missi is an interesting one. You can get him for Walter straight up. Both of those guys were both taken around the same spot. And I think that's a dude who can come in, do your 18 minutes a game, fill the role that you need, and was also a first-round pick.
That is, to me, is a more intriguing trade, only because there is equity. And yeah, Wes is big on Misi as well. It's just, yeah, that makes sense, especially with this like just Derek Queen, just kind of like just
there's
give him the time.
It makes sense to ship him out. He fits with what they want, and you're getting a young guy who's a first-round pick in 2024.
The Pelicans would give up on Misi again. Like that's just like
I mean, who knows?
Joe Dumars must know something.
What do you know?
Okay, but wait, but now if it's for Walter though, you're kind of both giving up guys around that same.
I mean, listen, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
It's much better than your first one.
It's something you think about for sure.
I honestly think the range of options you're going to get for a realistic backup center trade is like a guy just no one's really excited about.
Yeah. Oh, I got a couple more of those.
So like, you know, the last one I have here that's like realistic. Like you talk about Chicago, they have another center, power forward center. Jalen Smith is a guy that's kind of been tossed around. He might get tossed around again on a team like Chicago, who again looks like they might be salary dumping. Ochai goes there. They can send him off 1 year later, and then you just have to attach one more asset.
Don't say Jacoby Walter.
No, Mobo. Does Mobo have to also be part of this in order to get a backup center who's capable of playing backup center minutes? Maybe.
So this is my.
But that's the range.
I would do it.
Yeah, that's the range.
So I would not. Only because.
Why?
Him and Barnes are friends, man. Like they're like close, like best buds. I'm not in the business
Depends
of
what
trading.
you think about Mobo. Depends what you think about it.
I understand. Yes, the framework of that I think does make sense. But Mobo's, I think
Mobo hasn't played. Like, is he going? Like, what's the plan for Mobo?
Again, I don't know what the plan is. I think he's like a versatile.
Scotty happy.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Keep your boy happy, man. Keep your boy happy.
I think Sandro's shown up and has clearly proven that's the guy over Mobo. For sure. Like
for this season, yes.
Yeah, but Sandro's like, he's earned it. He's absolutely earned it.
I mean, Mobo's doing very well in the G League. He doesn't have he can't shoot the ball, which I think will ultimately be a hindrance to his like future equity. But I'm not in the business of trading your superstar's best friend.
Yeah, I just hate to be like so dull and realistic about it, but like this is the range.
To Magic, Ochai and Jameson battle, and you get Goga in return.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? Maybe Magic say another shooter.
Yeah.
Right? Battle's a shooter. I think he's under contract for 1 more year after this.
I think that makes sense if Mo Wagner comes back.
That's the piece. Yeah. They gotta have faith in his health.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, maybe we'll let this
fine,
go.
roll the dice on Mo Wagner.
Brothers on the team. So,
hey man, it's business.
Have Germany's like national squads on the Magic, man.
Yeah,
like,
I just think Goga is probably the one they let go more than Mo, to be honest.
Sense, but why would they? Wait, Goga's
good.
Tough.
Yeah,
I get it. They probably don't think Ochai is enticing, but maybe Battle sweetens. I mean, listen, you put a guy in that infrastructure.
But Ochai's defense makes sense though with them.
Yeah, and Raptors want to corner the market on Georgians. Is that what we're
Go Bulldogs?
Go Bulldogs.
Let's start something here.
We're like searching far and wide for this. Like, is it not better just to sign a big? That someone like
maybe
it's as simple as like
you got Leo's number.
Instead, Doncic before Doncic.
Javon, man, they're calling.
Javon, knees don't work, man. Knees don't work. Like if you like, it's okay. So taking the full scope here, you're gonna have to cut to get under the luxury tax. Would you rather cut someone like Ochai, who again, like I thought's been playing better, but just feels like their candidate that they're gonna do that with?
It just
is.
So
if you do that, you keep your picks, you keep your seconds, you keep equity, and you just sign a big, like just a stopgap solution who can potentially give you like rather than Orlando Robinson last year. Like, is it hard to find someone like that? Like, are we actually going to attach value? I don't know. I think that's what ends up happening.
I'm fine with dealing a second or two. Yeah. Like to me, that's whatever. I get it. In the aggregate,
it depends.
They can make a difference, but for a team that right now is trying to compete, you really need to fill that role.
Yeah.
You can't go on like this.
I think it goes back to what I was saying earlier. It's just like you want to be able to fairly evaluate the team that you have, and it would suck to not be able to do that because they don't have a dude who can set a screen.
Now let's talk about the Heat game because
can we talk about basketball?
I feel like we're room decided because Hambone and I feel very strongly. I thought the Raps showed they played with a passion and heart yesterday, especially on the defensive end, that we haven't really seen in a while. And I'll say this, I feel like when you're down a key person like RJ and you are playing 7 times in 11 days, that really weighed on them. And we saw a freshness to that Raptors team that we had not seen. And to me, the energy level that they played with was inspiring. And I think this could be the start of a nice little run considering how easy that upcoming schedule is.
They allowed 19 points in the fourth quarter, which is good. They held the Heat to that mark. There's a couple plays that stood out to me that I thought were like very small, but I thought like, Barnes will get the headlines. Dude's like, I think he leads the league in fourth quarter blocks.
Once again,
Massive moments late, 2 big blocks in the fourth. There are 2 plays that stood out to me. One was the Norman we were talking about on the subway ride here. Norman Powell got a bucket on Brandon Ingram, a tough drive, lefty layup, high off glass. I thought Ingram moved his feet. Showed a lot of gumption on that end. Emmanuel quickly, midway through the fourth, 6 minute left. Small thing, but I noticed it. He grabbed the board in the middle of the trees, a defensive rebound, got up there, fought for it. These are examples that I think exemplify the way the Raptors need to play.
But I think you can add the Scotty O boards as well. Scotty had a couple big O boards that and you could see the passion there.
Visceral reactions.
To me though, but like outside of Scotty, that was the Shed game to me. Shed swung so much of that game, including big runs in the first, third, and the fourth. Shed was crucial.
I think the question was posed a few weeks back about what would be the reason the Raptors sink, their offense or their defense. And I think I said their defense. If RJ's out and you can't score as much as you could against teams, you need to be able to hold them to less points. I think that's like a pretty obvious thing. And I think the way they played last night, Jamal Shed, who I thought is just, I think, as a disruptor. Disruptor, gets over screens. You need that kind of performance. You need kind of energy. And think to your point as well, 7 games, 11 days. Yeah, you're not going to, it's hard to
They call that lethargy.
Yeah. Apparently.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's the strength of the team, especially when they're banged up. Right. The strength of the team, exactly what I said on a previous pod, post All-Star weekend last year, they just brought on the defensive end. That's what you can bring every night, regardless of your talent discrepancy. The Miami game, kind of interesting in terms of a snapshot because the Raptors actually had the size advantage on Miami, strangely enough. And that played to their advantage. They were able to size up and to really make it difficult for them to get to the rim. Love to see it. Love to see it. Fab, I'm going to make a prediction. Fab, you're probably going to talk about this. Offensively, still a lot to ask for.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a imperfect but spirited win.
Yes.
They needed it desperately. Darko even said this after. I think he was thanking God that they won. They have, as per our girl Keeks, 6 double-digit comebacks this season. That's tied for second most in the NBA. So the heart is there. The heart is in the right place. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. It was a game of runs, a lot of bad turnovers throughout the game. They cleaned it up in the fourth. The crunch time offense. We're going to come back to this because it worries me still. There was times where either they were trying to go too fast and they're throwing the ball away, or you're getting into stuff 20 seconds into, like you're throwing a grenade to Ingram with 3-4 seconds on the clock. So quickly, you have to process things quicker, man. No pun, but just like get into stuff a little quicker.
Get into your offense much faster.
Or hand it off to Barnes to create something because they played with fire a little bit towards the end.
Like, at what point does Ingram need the ball in the post? Do you think in the shot clock?
Like 14,
11,
yeah,
at least halfway through. But listen, he also has to fight harder for it too, right? Like God bless him, he's not he's not physically strong, right? So he kind of has to carve out that spot and grab it in the post. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's concerns about it. Overall, though, good win. Yes, really, really good win. They needed it.
And pulling out too, like you got the Bucks on Thursday.
Well, here let's look at here's the schedule coming up.
Win that game
at Bucks, then they go Celtics on the 20th, at the Nets on the 21st,
and get Boston back.
At the Heat on Festivus, then at the Wizards on Boxing Day. You can go 4-1 if you can go 4-1 in that stretch, because it gets a lot harder in January.
I think you need to get some wins here in this little stretch. Okay. Fab, you mentioned it before we aired, like we were on here. Get Boston back for that.
Yeah.
They punch you in the mouth to start that game in Toronto, and then you fought your way back, even took the lead in that game. It's time to get them back.
Yeah, and I think,
I hate Boston.
So look at the East standings right now. There's 2 teams kind of separating themselves a bit. That's New York and Detroit.
Yeah.
Look at 3 through 9.
Yeah,
it is thick. It's going to be thick all season. So you're going to have to fight all these teams who are at a similar level, and you have to win. Like these head-to-heads, Miami, Boston, Atlanta. These are the games you have to win.
Orlando's coming. I
know, but right now they're in the mud with you too. So
and you got to think Cleveland will at some point.
Fraud alert! Yeah. Fraud alert!
Mobley's out too, man. It's not looking great.
They're gonna have a real tough stretch. Yeah. And so you got to take advantage. Like, look, This is the NBA. People get hurt. Teams get hurt. The Raptors got to play to their luck. If RJ gets back in reasonable amount of time, accumulate those wins because there's a very bad road trip coming up in January, as it does all the time. It get ugly.
And clean it up at home. For some reason, the home games have just been not working out. I don't know. Something about the road galvanizes them a little bit.
I noticed that. Like, it's just on the road, I feel like they play a little more scrappy.
Yeah.
It feels that way. I don't know.
I hope it evens itself out a bit. But the Bucks game on Thursday, absolute must win. Giannis is out. There's no excuse for losing that game.
Yeah. All right, let's finish on a hypothetical that I didn't tell you guys about that I'm going to spring on you in honor of. Now, by the time you're seeing this, the NBA Cup final will have happened, but the NBA Cup final is in Vegas. Here's my hypothetical. You're in Vegas. It's 3 a.m. You're at a blackjack table. Any NBA player, past or present, walks up to that table. Who would you want it to be?
It's got to be MJ.
Michael Jordan. Yeah.
So, but that's the easy answer.
Yeah.
Tell me what happened those 2 years. Why'd you retire, MJ? I'm just
Outside, okay, MJ exception. Outside of MJ.
Fine.
Go ahead.
Dennis Rodman.
Okay, why not? That's a good one.
I want. You know what? I want to have a time.
Yeah,
let's have
all
a
right.
time, man.
You know that's now a 7 a.m. night, like,
Yeah,
or 7 a.m. morning.
How do you top that, man?
So I'm going. You know what I'm going KG because
Yeah.
if that shoot gets hot. Oh, buddy, you know how hype that table's gonna get? Like,
That's a good one.
I want KG because, like, even if he's out, he's rubbing my shoulders. Like, you're just,
you got
the
this.
dealer's
You
busting.
got this.
KG is who I want.
Good pick.
What do you got, Wes?
I made Barkley.
Oh, yes.
I think Barkley just be a great time. So yeah,
Just because the
any of
degen
these picks-
factor.
Any of these picks are great. Yeah, I go Barkley.
I second all of them.
Okay, who you got?
No, man, I said MJ.
No, MJ doesn't count though.
John Stockton.
Nope. Nope.
There you go. Nice little hypothetical there.
All right. That's it for us. We will see you next week. Catch us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts.